If you grew up watching Bob Ross and now you have kids of your own, or if you're like me and you got nieces and nephews that you want to expose to Bob Ross, the best way to do it is right here. This is the Bob Ross for Kids Happy Lessons in a Box, and it's the best way to get your little ones to start painting like Bob. And I'm gonna show you everything you need to know about it, what's good and what's bad, and is it worth your money? Here we go. Right off the bat, I'm a huge fan of the artwork and box design of this. It's fantastic, inviting for kids. So what do you get with the Bob Ross Happy Lesson in a Box? You're gonna get an acrylic version of liquid white, which is the base medium you need to paint, followed by the colors, which are kid-friendly cadmium yellow, Prussian blue, sap green, titanium white, Van Dyke brown, and bright red. You also get smaller kid versions of all of Bob's brushes. You get the background brush, landscape brush, fan brush, liner brush, and you also get a smaller kid-friendly plastic palette knife. The box also includes one clear plastic palette for mixing your paints, 3 canvas boards which are 9 by 12 inch, and a Bob Ross how-to comic book full of instructions and awesome illustrations. So what's good about the Bob Ross for Kids Happy Lesson in a Box? Well, let's start with the colors and the paints. You get all the colors you need to complete pretty much any painting you want to do out there. If you follow the instruction booklet, you got all the colors you need there, or even if you want to venture off on your own. The nice thing for parents is they're all safe liquid water-based acrylic paints. They're non-toxic and they conform to all the safety measures you would want as a parent. Or if you're like me, that awesome, lovable, and handsome uncle. Another great thing is the how-to comic book that you get. No joke, the illustrations and step-by-step guide in here is actually fantastic for kids or parents teaching their kids or nieces and nephews out there. Plus, all the comic artwork is fantastic, the little stories that you get. And at the very end of the booklet, you actually have puzzles, games that you can do with your kids while they have to wait for paint to dry or moving on to the next step. And I actually really love the fact that you get this certification from Bob Ross, letting you know that truly anyone can paint. It's these extra little touches that I know kids are gonna love and I really appreciate as an adult. To my surprise, I can't believe how well constructed these tiny paintbrushes are for kids. They won't achieve the same effect as the normal wet on wet master set or basic kit from Bob Ross, but for kids, these are fantastic. However, they are teeny. I mean, what is this, a paintbrush set for ants?
What is this?
But again, I have to remember these are for kids and they do fit fine in their hands. I want to talk about the colors again for just one moment. Inside the Bob Ross how-to comic book, you get 5 easy to do paint along tutorials, or you can go to the YouTube website and follow along with the instructor there, which are all fantastic, another good win. If you're responsible enough as a parent to give just enough color to your kids out there, I think you have enough to do all 5 painting tutorials. However, you only get 3 canvas boards, so remember that as you go along. But these canvas boards, I've inspected them, they're actually really good, so another good win. So, is there anything bad about the Bob Ross for Kids Happy Lesson in a Box? You know, not really, but there are 3 things I want to make you aware of. The Bob Ross palette knife that you have isn't that great, but I wouldn't expect much. You're not going to make paint break with this type of very liquid water-based acrylic paint. This palette knife is more for putting in tree trunks and putting in water lines, which it'll be fine for little kids. Plus, it's, you know, not sharp or anything like that, which is also a good win. You also get a mixing palette with the Bob Ross for Kids paint set. And let me just tell you, this is too small for any kid that I've been around. My nieces make a mess and this is not enough room. They should at least made it the size of the box out there. I don't know why they did. So I recommend throwing that away and making your own, which I will tell you about in a video, which I will put in the top right corner. That's just a little tease. Also, I know kids are gonna have fun blowing through all this paint really fast, and you get 5 awesome tutorials like I said. And like I said also before, you only get 3 canvas boards. I feel like you should get all 5, but you know, canvas boards are actually extremely affordable. And yeah, that's all the negatives I have. They aren't even really negatives. This is an awesome kit that I actually wholeheartedly recommend to any parent out there or any uncle or aunt that wants to get something for their kids. No joke, this is one of the best ways I've seen to get kids into painting. And you get all of this between $45 and $50 USD. I extremely recommend it. It's gonna be a fun and introductory way to get your kids to paint. It's gonna show them a world of possibilities and build confidence because these tutorials are extremely easy. The YouTube videos are great, and the comic book is fun that you can read along with your kids and enjoy the time that you have. I actually recommend getting a lot more canvas boards and painting along with your kids, your nieces and nephews, or anybody out there. In fact, I don't even think this is just for kids. I actually think this is really, really fun for adults because it teaches you the basics. No joke, if you're thinking about getting into Bob Ross on wet painting, this might be a great place to start because it actually teaches you the basics better than oil. There's something that you do need to be aware of. Now, it's not a negative, but you really, really, really need to know if you've grown up watching Bob Ross, you will not be able to achieve the same effect as oil. You won't get the same silky smooth skies, the same building of layers, the paint breaks, the reflections that you get, and also some of the layer building that you get with certain highlights. Remember, this is acrylic. It's gonna teach you a different approach, but you can take the skills that you have here and apply it to oil if you feel like upgrading, which I recommend, trying out the Bob Ross Basic or Master Set, which I will put links in the video description below if you are interested in that. But no joke, starting here is fantastic. And for only $45 to $50, I give it like almost 10 stars. It, no joke, is fantastic. And I know your kids will like it. Now, if you plan on getting the Bob Ross for Kids Happy Lesson in a Box, you can do me a huge favor and use the link down in the video description. It costs you nothing, but it really helps support my channel and it shows me that you really appreciate this review. If you plan on getting the kit and you or your loved ones plan on painting something, you can share your creations with me on Instagram under the hashtag WildCreates. I would really love to see it. Now, if you're a parent out there and you do get this kit, I got a video for you that you can watch right now if it's ready on my right side. It shows you best tips and best ways to use this kit, plus awesome cleanup tips that you're really going to enjoy. Or if you want to upgrade to the Bob Ross oil kits, I'll put those also over to my side. We'll catch you later because we got to go paint with the little ones. And of course, peace.